Good morning, YouTube. Massey 1105 driver here, and it's the 4th of July. So I'd like to say happy 4th of July to everybody, but today we're doing a little 4th of July corn update. I'm standing out, not quite in the middle of this field, but standing out in this about 10 acres of corn. I planted Memorial Weekend. Been I think the 24th and the 25th I finished it up. It's not looking too bad considering the conditions this year. About 3 weeks ago we had between 4 and 6 inches of rain that week, and knowing the history of this field, this corn really doesn't look too bad. It's inconsistent. There's anywhere from just under knee high to a little over waist high in here, but considering the year, I'm just fortunate to have a crop, because I know a lot of you guys can't even plant on what you have. But you know, we've still been getting pounded by rain. I put this corn in that Memorial Weekend in ideal conditions, and it was up in 5 days. It was spiking through in 5 days. It didn't get sprayed till I think 7 days after it was planted, in which normally I like to get it sprayed before it emerges. But with that holiday weekend and the weather conditions, it just didn't happen. It didn't seem to have been affected by that, other than the field was a little on the wet side when they did get in to spray it, and you can tell where the sprayer ran because a lot of that corn didn't come up. And it's just because the ground got packed so hard that corn couldn't get up through it. But you can definitely tell where the wet spots and where the dry spots are in the field. The spots where it's been fortunate enough to drain off are really looking nice. Like right here, there's a little spot, and it kind of runs down through there toward them trees, and then from there back up through a part way. It looks real nice and green, but you can tell, like right here in front of me, where it, you know, it doesn't look bad, but you can tell it's been a little on the wet side. It's got that yellow tint to it. And then of course the animals, you know, they're already taking their toll on it. Deer are eating the crap out of it and whatnot. So it's a challenge all around. It's not just weather, it's everything else, Mother Nature and nature itself. So probably can't see too well up back towards the sun, but and we've been really hot and humid here the last week, mid to upper 80s, and then of course with that weather comes a chance of pop-up showers, and we've been getting rain about every day for the last 2 or 3 days. Just a quick storm in the afternoon or early evening, which keeps it wet. But like I say, you know, compared to a lot of areas, we're not too bad in this area, although there is still a lot of unplanted fields that probably won't get planted at this point, other than maybe your dairy operations that are in desperate need of corn silage. They can still plant corn and, you know, are able to chop with a shorter season corn, you know, in the fall, because it doesn't have to, they don't have to worry about the crop maturing or anything. They can still chop it and get some kind of feed. Hay has been the real issue around here. Less than ideal conditions to get hay made. There's been a couple of windows, but not much. So hay is going to be at a premium this year, and going to be real expensive to come this winter, I would think. It's probably already expensive now. But yeah, you can definitely tell where the wet spots are. I don't know how well you can see. I can see it with my eye, but most of that lays pretty wet through the middle of that field, but it doesn't look too horrible. Right through there is a wet spot, a big bowl, and that looks pretty rough. But I think there is tile in this field, but it's old and 3-inch, so you know it's only doing about half its job. You can see here in front of me, there's water still laying where it runs down through here from behind that barn right there, and that kind of follows all the way down all the way down through and into that spot. But like I say, considering the year and the conditions, it's not looking horrible. If the rain would ever stop for about 2 weeks, would be real nice to let some of this stuff catch up, but who knows. Sounds like next week's going to be a little better. It's not going to be as humid and less chance of rain, so maybe some things will start to straighten out. I actually just finished planting on Saturday corn for a guy. Last week I planted every day but Sunday. I finished my beans on Monday. I planted corn Tuesday through Saturday to get finished up. So yeah, not ideal. Would like to be done planting corn by June 1st around here if at all possible, but last couple years have been a real challenge. Then you get spots like this in the field where you got 3 or 4 feet of real nice corn that's over waist high, but you know, it's just for whatever reason that drains there, or drained there. Everything else around it looks like crap, but I don't know. It's just, you can only do so much when Mother Nature just constantly kicks you in the nuts. Like this year I had them just put all the nitrogen on at spraying time, so who knows how much of that's still around. You know, we've had probably 7 inches of rain on this field since they sprayed it. And you know, they put a stabilizer in it, but I don't know how much of that actually hangs around. Last year I had them put about 10 gallons of 28 on it spraying and then side dress the rest, but the problem with that was it was wet when it needed side dressed, and the corn got probably this tall, so then when they went into to side dress, they knocked down a lot of it and ran, and then what you run over doesn't come back at that point. It's ideal to side dress it about that stage right there where they can get in and get around and not knock it over, and if they do run over a little bit, you know, it's not a big deal. But I'm glad I wasn't side dressing this year, because even right now you couldn't get in this field and side dress without tearing up and rutting, and so that's just a real gamble to do that. I mean, it's ideal, but it's tough sometimes. So anyhow, that's what corn's looking like. I got another little field back that way, and it looks similar. It's got some wet spots in it too. It's not looking horrible. I'm just glad the weeds are, these fields were pretty weedy when I planted them, and they cleaned up the weeds real well. There's some shit that still didn't die off completely and coming, but I don't think it's enough to hurt anything. Most of the grass and everything's dead, so at least it's giving the corn a chance somewhat. So all right guys, everybody have a good 4th, and we'll see you later.